Hello everybody, this is Zacharias. Welcome to my new Let's Play. This will be for Geneforge 2 Infestation, which is a remaster of the original Geneforge 2, which came out many years ago. I am very excited to get into this Let's Play, and technically uh this is gonna be a Let's Play I'm redoing because I wasn't happy with the direction I was taking with it before, so I had to restart here, but uh I'm gonna stick with the direction I'm going for this one. So anyway, if you aren't familiar with Spiderweb Software games, definitely check them out because they are a great indie dev. They've been in the business for since mid '90s, pretty much, and I've always been a huge fan of their games ever since I was a kid. And the Avernum series is definitely my favorite, and I've actually covered the remastered Avernum trilogy on my channel, as well as the Avalon trilogy. I've covered the first Geneforge one, the remastered Geneforge one Mutagen on my channel, so definitely check that out. That was the remastered version of the original Geneforge. So I can't wait to get more into this Let's Play with Geneforge 2 Infestation. And with Avernum 4 Green and Glory out on the way, I figured this would be a good time to cover Geneforge 2 Infestation, since it has been several months since I last played Geneforge. And if you want an early achievement early on, just go and click like 50 of these, and you should get a medal. You pop 50 bubbles, so pop 50 of these, and you will get that achievement. But yes, I have played through a little bit of this already, but I wasn't happy with the direction I was going, so I'm gonna do that now. And like with the first Geneforge game, you have a choice between 3 character types. You can be a Shaper. Shapers are skilled at magic and unmatched in their ability to create powerful creatures. However, they are physically frail. Shapers will have to rely on their creations for protection. A Guardian. Guardians are the defenders of the Shapers. They are highly skilled in melee combat and can create creatures to aid them in assault. However, their magical skills are otherwise weak. Or an Agent. Agents travel around on the command of the Shapers and solve problems, usually violently. Their magic and weapon skills are strong, but they are not good at creating creatures. Agents tend to be harder to play. Now, I think this time I've been debating whether I wanted to be a Shaper again or a Guardian. But I actually think for this Let's Play, I'm gonna actually try to be an Agent here. I'm not gonna be able to create creations, but that's okay. I do have magic and weapon skills, so that should be fun. I will have very limited ability to create creations, but if I do need to create them, they'll just be, meat shields pretty much. But yeah, I'm actually going to try being an agent for this Let's Play. We're going to call her Eve. So anyway, let's just get right into it. And as like with all my walkthroughs, I play on normal difficulty. The Shapers are the oldest, most respected, most secretive, and most powerful of the magical sex. They have the power to create life. The Shapers can make new life forms from nothing but organic matter and pure magic. They can mold this life to serve any purpose, be it light housework or major warfare. The Shapers rule the known world, and they guard the secrets of their power as well. To learn their techniques without permission is to court a speedy death at the hands of a guardian in the day or an agent in the night. That is why your current position is such an honor. You are a Shaper apprentice. You have earned the right to join them. They will teach you the secrets of life. However, Shaper training is long and difficult. You've spent years of exhausting study and you have little power to show for it. To be made a full Shaper, you must complete your apprenticeship. That means field work. You must go out into the world and learn how your power can control it. You have been assigned to a full agent named Shanti. She will guide and instruct you. Your mission is simple. You are to go to an old Shaper colony called Dry Peak. Dry Peak is a failed colony set on a rocky, desolate mountain. You are to get a status report from the 2 Shapers who run it. Once this mission is complete, you can return home and gain real power. You travel with Shanti for weeks, hearing advice, running errands, getting abuse, having the pleasure of the common humans fearing you and calling you Shaper. Then you climb into the desolate mountains. You see the rubble and ruins surrounding Dry Peak. After a long, exhausting climb through the cold waste, Shanti lets you set up camp in an abandoned shop. You sleep like the dead. When you wake up the next morning, Shanti is gone. Alright. So, this is not really a blind Let's Play, at least not for, like, most of it, because I have tried this Let's Play before, but wasn't happy about how things were going, so that's why I'm redoing it. But this time I am going to stick with it, and if I've rage quit, then I've rage quit, but I really do want to get through this, because I did like the first Geneforge a lot, and I did like the Geneforge games when I was a kid as well. But yes, the first game was about a shaper, a true shaper named Tobias. Now, for me, this story will be about an agent named Eve. And for those of you that might wonder if the character types, if all the true shapers are male and the true guardians are male and only the agents are female, story-wise, that's actually not true. It's just that Jeff had limited like artwork options and stuff like that, I think, which is why you can't change the gender of any of the character types. But yeah, whatever. It is what it is. Just limited on like artwork and stuff like that. At least at the time. Anyway, sleeping on a cold stone floor has not helped your muscles recover from the long journey. You cough some ruins dust out of your lungs and stretch out. Quickly you get up, as Agent Shanti tends to be impatient. You left your blade on the table. Probably best to be able to defend yourself in this wasteland. To use these items, you'll first have to pick them up. Press the Get button pictured above or type G. Then select the blade to get it. Getting and using items. To pick up an item, bring up the Getting Items window by pressing the Get button or typing G. Select an item on the ground to put it into your pack. Once an item is in your pack, to have your character equip it, select the item to pick it up, then drop it onto your character's large portrait to equip it. To remove a piece of armor or stop using a weapon, do the same thing in reverse. To get rid of an unwanted item, drop it onto the ground area to the lower right. Some items you find, like the metal bowls on the table, will be useless. Some won't. Fortunately, if you want to get rid of something you're carrying, it's easy. Put an item in your pack on the ground, open the inventory window, grab the item by selecting it, and then select the ground area. Alright, we're going to put on these gloves in. Yeah, some of the stuff, of course, is just for aesthetic reasons, so no need to pick up everything. But any stuff that has value, I usually pick up, so you know. You step out of the abandoned shop into the daylight. You get a good look at the road leading up to the Dry Peak Mountains. Unfortunately, this valley is as dry and barren as every inch of the miserable journey up here. Dry Peak is a hugely unsuccessful Shaper settlement. The Shaper's best efforts to create plants and animals that could thrive here resulted in failure. Some of these failures escaped and spread. Thus, most of the shops and homes, like the one you spent the night in, are empty. You are but a novice in this remote land. Shanti, your instructor and overall boss, is waiting outside. She is typically impatient. Well, novice, I hope you have had a good, long sleep. She places extra emphasis on the word long. Shanti strides up to you. Your mentor is wearing the studded leather armor favored by agents. Excellent for stealth and quick travel. A long curved blade hangs from her belt. She also wears a peculiar necklace, a series of polished fangs on a leather thong. She tends to idly finger it when deep in thought. Shanti is eager to get going. You're well rested, Eve. A long night of leisure suit you? I want to get to Dry Peak soon. The sooner this job is done and we're back in civilization, the better. You are now in a conversation. To respond to a character, select one of the options below. You can also type the number by response to select it. How far are we from Dry Peak? Not far, I think. Just a few more miles of abandoned buildings and sand in our eyes. Shouldn't be difficult. She smiles. Words like that have a way of summoning trouble. What should I do now? You follow me, I'll scout ahead. Okay, like with all Spider-Wolf software games, I do have a tendency to explore everything. This dusty road leads south back the way you came. Someday, when your mission here is completed, you can return here to leave the valley. For now, however, your training will continue in the other direction. Stand on the road leading out of these mountains. It is but a 3 days walk to the next city and a long but safe journey from there to the Shapers Council and their mighty citadel. You are sorely tempted to leave this dangerous land. However, your work is not yet complete. Your orders are to find and speak with Zachariah and Barzal. Until you have either done that or found proof that it is impossible, you can't bring yourself to go home. To not complete your task would mean a quick and humiliating end to your training. I kind of wish we were able to just actually waltz out there and just so we get a fake ending with how we failed. We abandoned our mission before it even started, sort of thing. I wish that was an option, but oh well. Okay, there's a giant rat back here. There is a huge rat cowering at the end of this path. The beast drools with hunger. Its eyes gleam with a vague intelligence. It doesn't want to bother you as long as you leave it alone. Giant rats didn't always exist in the wild. Then a careless shaper let one escape. Now they do. That is why shapers never, ever let outsiders learn their secrets. The ability to create life comes with great responsibility. People use shaper skills in irresponsible or forbidden ways are speedily hunted down and killed. When no enemies are visible, you can end combat mode by pressing this button or typing F. Speaking of Fireball, I'm going to switch that as my default attack. Now that you have made some progress, you should save the game. Saving the game creates a snapshot of your progress. Later, you can load the save game and continue where you left off. To save the game, press the settings button and select Save Game or type Ctrl S. Save often, you never know when you might get killed. You can type F3 to make a quick save and F4 to load the quick save slot. Finally, the game saves for you automatically when you enter a new area. If you die, you can always load the autosave game. We're definitely going to be using the quick save often. My new keyboard actually has it, or not my new keyboard, but I've had this for a while. But the reason why I say that is because on my old gaming PC with when I was doing my walkthroughs of Avernum and Abaddon, the keyboard I had at the time that came with it, it didn't really have an easy option to hit F3 or any of the F1 keys, stuff like that, because of the secondary function. But this one does, so we're going to be taking advantage of the quick save often. And it's important since you can die a lot. So, see, I did it right there. And I'll press F4 anytime I need to reload it. Shanty raises a hand to stop you. Wait, this is a good chance for you to do something. What should I do? Shanty points at the entryway to the south. That ruin looks interesting. Go in there, investigate, see what you find. Maybe you can get some extra supplies for us. I'll be back in a minute. I'll look around out here a bit more. If any rats try to sneak up on you, I'll bring the might of the Shapers to bear on them. Wind and Sand have warned the Sawblessed, but the writing is still clear. Healing and Shaping Hall. West, damage and rogue creations. East, injured humans and survivals. You immediately recognize what this place was. A Shaping Hall. Though this chamber is abandoned and the essence pools in the alcoves are empty and cracked, their purpose is clear. Shaper settlements are full of places like this, where your kind goes about the business of using their powers to create useful life, and, if necessary, destroy it. The clay Shapers use to mold life is called essence. It is a gooey, partially alive substance. Warm, liquid, and charged with magic. Shapers like you have the ability to hold essence within your body. This can be used to make life and power spells later. If these vats were full, they could recharge the supply of essence within you. Perhaps there is an intact store of the stuff farther in. Okay, just bones. Notes on combat. Each round, your character gets a base of 8 action points. If you have any action points left, you can do any action. Doing things consumes action points, and when you are out, your turn ends. Moving and doing actions uses them up. Moving a space costs 1 point. Using an item costs 5 action points, and attacking or using an ability costs 9. When you are next to a foe, you can only move 1 space for the rest of your turn. To end your turn early, select the space your character is in, or press the spacebar. The order in which characters act in combat is determined by their speed. The more agility and quick action skill a character has, the faster it will act. Armor and weapons are heavy. Heavy equipment reduces your number of action points. Increase your strength to increase what you can equip without penalty. This is an operating room. Wounded humans and creations were brought here for maintenance. A trained shaper can use magic and raw essence to rebuild damaged bodies. Happily, there is an intact healing pool in the back corner of the room. Pools like this are semi-living creatures, shaped to cure beings who stand nearby. If you are wounded, stand near such a pool to heal yourself. There is a hole in the roof that enables sunlight to shine through. The light helps keep the pool fed and alive. However, without added nutrients, it will eventually dry up and die. Okay, so this is a healing pod right here, which heals us, but it only heals ourselves. If we have, like, creations with us and stuff like that, then we will use spores to heal everybody. But pods are definitely meant for your own, like, player character. This is a storeroom. Most of the equipment here is useless to an adventurer like you. However, you are happy to see a living tool on the table. A living tool is exactly what it sounds like. It's a tentacle creature attuned to the wishes of whoever is holding it. You can direct the long, dexterous tentacles of the little fellow, using it to unlock locked doors and manipulate machinery. You should get the living tool. Later, when you find a locked door or piece of misbehaving machinery, you will be given the option to use one or more tools on it. Unfortunately, using a living tool tends to kill it. The higher your mechanic skill is, the fewer living tools you will need to do any particular job. Okay, we'll pick that up since it has value and stacks. Living tools, of course, stack. Okay, so I already have the gloves. I'll put on this wooden shield. I'll put the rest in my junk bag here. In fact, I'll go ahead and put these in the junk bag too, since I don't need them. This is a shaping chamber. Here, shapers can use their secret knowledge to take raw essence and work it into living things. Strong and usually obedient. Happily, there is an intact essence pool in the back corner. When you are low on essence, standing near such a pool will restore your reserves. Later, you will use essence to make creations or cast spells. When you cast enough spells, you will need to return to a pool like this one to recharge. However, when you make a creation, the essence you spend will be tied up, keeping the creature alive. Essence spent making a creature won't come back until the creation dies or you reabsorb it. To survive in the Dry Peak Mountains, you will probably need to make creations to fight for you, especially if you are playing as a shaper. You already know how to create a Fiora, a small fire-breathing lizard. To make a Fiora, you will need at least one level of fire shaping skill. Happily, you start with this. Each creation has a minimum shaping skill needed to make it. To make a creation, press the plus button in your roster. You will then spend some of your essence to make your servant and improve his skills. The more essence you spend on one Fiora skills, the less you will have left to create more of them. You can create up to 7 servants. When you spend essence to make a creation, you can't get it back until the creation dies or you reabsorb it. Alright, curing pod. You are surrounded by gruesome fungal flora. Bulbous trees and woody spikes stick out of the dirt at strange angles. This is the work of shapers, trying to make trees that can grow on this dead soil. The experiment was not a success. This is living flora, true, but it is thorny and useless. A breeze carries the scent of the plants to you. They also smell like rot. Lovely. You realize that, once again, you are not alone. There is a Fire in the clearing ahead, watching you. A Fire is a creation. It is a creature invented and improved by your people for use as a scout or an attack dog. Since it is a creation, it should be naturally inclined to obey you. However, this creature does not seem obedient at all. It's not hostile either. It's just staring. It is an eerie feeling being watched by a creation in this way. Creations have always obeyed you mindlessly before. Dry Peak was supposed to be a quiet, mostly abandoned settlement. Why is a rogue wandering around? Strange and dangerous. When you get close to the fire, it sniffs at you. Then it gets nervous. It starts to walk away quickly. Odd. You find a small camp. There is a dirty, torn tent. There are faint, fresh tracks around it, some human and some reptilian. You find no sign of who lives here. However, you feel like you're being watched. Okay, I'm not going to worry about collecting food or anything. Like most of the shops along the road to Dry Peak, the smithy has been abandoned for several years. Some industrious souls have been tearing blocks out of the wall and carrying them off, probably for building materials. Surprisingly, someone has left some javelins on the counter. They look new. Maybe they were forgotten by a hunter. Javelins are equipped in your missile weapon slot. You will learn how to switch between melee and missile weapons in the next section. Okay. These have a little bit of value, but nothing I would need. Alright. Bars of iron are actually a quest item here, so I'm going to hang on to these for now. I'm not going to put them in my junk bag. But I will put on this free armor on the meantime. And we will battle these giant rats. There is a dead survival here. The poor creature must have been overwhelmed by rats. Okay, I think my agent is fine with the chitin armor so far. Now, agents can also use missile weapons like batons and javelins, but their biggest strength is going to be magic, so I'm not going to worry about like equipping like javelins, stuff like that. Or batons, for that matter. I'll sell those. If I was Guardian, though, then I would have to use those. Because the Guardians are weak at magic. Good at combat. Shanty stops you. The late morning sweat has caused her to break out into a sweat, and she seems very slightly unnerved. I've been scouting ahead. This is not right. There are rogues in this area. I think I may need to give you some combat training earlier than I planned. And some advice as well. I searched that room to the south. You described what you saw. Shanty is thoughtful. Less in there than I hoped. Still, I hope it was instructive. I am ready for training. One of the first things you learned in your training was how to focus, so that you could be taught things very quickly with almost no need for repeating. Yet, you've been taught very little. The Shapers are very slow to teach initiates their secrets. That is why it is a pleasant surprise that Shanty is teaching you an actual skill. Listen carefully. This is something you should know. Shanty teaches you a spell called Daze. It sends forth shining motes of essence which perplex foes, temporarily keeping them from acting. If you are outnumbered, use the spell to stall excess enemies while you deal with others. That is something I sound like I'm going to be needing to use often if I'm going to be an agent, since creations are going to be my weakest attribute. What did you find ahead for us? More ruins, more dead trees, and rogues, I think. I caught the stink of them. Go north and you will be near them. You will find a building just before the rogues. Inside, I left some books for you. They will explain magic for you. You may find them useful. There are also healing and essence pools. Those will be very useful. What advice do you have for me? You are an agent like me, an honorable and brave path to follow. We rely on our blades and, more importantly, our magic. You will live or die based on your spells. The Firebolt spell will, I suspect, be very valuable to you very soon. In the next section, you will learn how to cast spells. There is more I would like to know. Oh, me too, my apprentice. This is not the time or place to talk. We will have the chance for leisure when we reach Dry Peak. I promise I will have many questions for them. What should I do now? You will follow me. If there are rogues, and I think there are, we will need to kill them. It's our responsibility. The ones I miss, you will slay. I am ready to proceed. Alright, I'll move ahead and kill anything even mildly threatening. I'll try to leave a few of the weaker rogues so you can sharpen your skills. Try not to get too maimed. She rests her hand lightly on the pommel of her blade and walks quickly off to the north. You suspect that she's looking forward to what's about to happen. She checks to make sure her blade is ready, then she turns and leaves to the north. First, let me grab what is left here. Okay, so yeah, I'm not going to worry about thorns or batons, I'll just sell them. This magic is going to be my best strength here. You have reached the end of this area, the first of almost 90 in Geneforge 2 Infestation. When you are ready to move on, step on the area shaded blue. You will then be on the world map. To travel to a new region, select it and then select the travel button. To make things easier, the next section will be automatically selected for you. In the next section, you will learn about spells and combat. Good luck, your adventures are just beginning. Agent Shanty's tracks are still visible in the sand, but your mentor is nowhere to be seen. Perhaps she is letting you travel alone for one of her little lessons. You are getting closer to Dry Peak. The crumbling walls of abandoned buildings line what is left of the road. As you get closer to the Shaper settlement, you have to carefully thread between thick tangles of cacti. These plants are still shaped, but a more successful design. Defeating foes and finishing quests gives you experience. When you get enough experience, you can gain a level. You have gained a new level, and you can now train your character. This will help you survive the battles ahead. Press the train button to begin training. Okay, so I think what I'm gonna okay, our strongest skill is gonna be our magic skills. Weakest is gonna be shaping, so I'm gonna ignore shaping, of course. And combat will be another thing we'll invest in. As far as general skills, let's go ahead and put a point into each one of these for now. Leadership, mechanics, and stealth. Let me go ahead and invest one in there. There. And invest one there. And I'm going to have one skill point left over, but that's okay. So yeah. Definitely want to make sure I get my magic, keep my magic up. Get these up. So a good balance of everything here. So, with that in mind, I'm going to go ahead and call it for this part of Let's Play for now. I'm going to make sure the game is saved right here, and then we'll continue more. This is part of the tutorial. We're not actually finished with the tutorial yet, but we will get there. This is just a long game, and I want to make sure I save here before I continue. But yeah, as far as my skills and training, like I said, I mainly have to invest in magic. But we will also invest in combat, some of this as well. The main thing I want to focus on is the cheaper stuff, so next level up I'll get another one of these levels. The only one I have to ignore is shaping skills, but I'm willing to take that chance. Now, agents are said to be harder to play, of course, because you won't be able to utilize creations. Or I guess you could, but it would cost you way more skill points and it wouldn't be worth it. But I'm willing to take that chance just to give a little bit more variety. in my Let's Play here. But let's go ahead and check it out. But yeah, it's best to focus on stuff that is cheapest first. Alright, spells. Resistances. Armor, fire, cold, energy, poison, acid, mental, stun. Battle magic, firebolt, searer, essence lenses, quick lash. Kind of reminds me of Quiplash, because, you know, me being a Jackbox fan too. Air shock, essence purge, mental magic daze, rack, dominate, delirium, rack wave, mass madness, war blessing, blessing magic, war blessing, protection, speed, essence shield, mind shield, mass energize, healing craft, minor heal, cure affliction, group heal, regenerate, heal, mass restore. Actually, yeah, it is unfortunate we won't be able to utilize healing craft, because that will help us, but that is exactly why we're going to have to stock up on many, like, potions, or not potions, but, like, pods, spores, as much as we can, stuff like that, because healing craft will be pricey, and we won't be able to get that. Okay, so the main thing we're going to be able to utilize is, of course, our spell. Creations. The reason why I originally wanted to do a full Let's Play of me being a Shaper, or at the very least a Guardian, is because they have some cool ones in the roster, not gonna lie. Like, they have, like, the ones from the first game, like Fiora, Roamer, Drake, God, Claw, Bug, Battle Alpha, Artilla, Vlish, Glock, and the Cockatrice, even though he had to earn that one at some point. But they also have new ones like Dracons, Groth, however you say that, Gazers, Stockthorns. But they also have cool stuff for, like, Guardians and, like, Agents as well, if you're going to use, like, combat. Or Lunge, War Infusion, Guardian Push, Life Drain, Chain Lightning, Searing Spray, Slash, Guardians Roar, which is why we're also going to invest in combat as well, of course. So yeah, we are sacrificing creations here, because, yeah, they do have some cool ones, but I think an Agent will still be fun to play regardless, even though we won't be able to create any of these here. The most we'll be able to create is a Fiora, and in those situations where I need like meat shields or something like that to, like, take damage for me, then I will create Fioras, but we're not gonna go beyond that. So yeah, we are gonna sacrifice shaping and the healing craft, but to make up for it, we're just gonna have to gather up a lot of healing pods, stuff like that, and make sure we take advantage of that. But being able to use magic and combat skills should still be a lot of fun. Alright, well, that's enough rambling for me. I'm gonna go ahead and make sure the game is saved right here, and I'll see you all in the next part.